football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? How we doing? It's back, baby. It's back. The EPL season is right around the corner. It starts on Friday. And guess who's opening? Who else? The biggest club in England, one of the biggest clubs in the world, Manchester United, the Showtime Reds. 8 p.m. local kickoff Friday night. Wish we were there. Wish we were there so we could make amends for seeing them lay a big old fat turd in front of us last year as we ran out the door after they conceded to try and make our train back to London. Can't wait, sir. How we feeling? How we doing? Last pod for a minute on the road, but good to see you. Good to get back together. And I can't wait for United. Forget the Community Shield. We're talking about real Premier League action. You ready?
Pod never sleeps, even on vacations. It was a great pod that we did on the drive down to Southern California. Glad we did it before my daughter vomited on the drive. So, you know, it got kind of dicey there as we were getting into Malibu, but got some time at the beach, got to see the grandparents. So it was all great. That Community Shield loss, can't even remember it. I'm over it already. I want this Fulham win. That's what it's all about. Those Cottagers,
what a nickname.
all of coming to Old Trafford, that same fixture that you and me went to, and we got absolutely devastated. That was brutal to lose to Fulham. That was obviously last season, not great. We're not going to go there. Pod therapy, we already buried last season. It's done and dusted. We're starting a new one, and we got to start off right. We're playing for keeps against Fulham. They lost their best player, Paulinho. Need to just cook them. We need a strong, confident win. We need to have the youngster scoring. We need Kobe involved. We need Garnacho on the score sheet, Ahmad on the score sheet. We need Rashford getting it going. We need good vibes all around. We need a good start for Erik Ten Hag because I don't want to go the other direction.
I don't want to go the other direction. I've seen that movie. I've seen it when we play okay. I've seen when we play terrible, and I've seen when we even play decently. And they got their knives out, bro. I'm telling you what. I'll tell you what. They don't like Manchester United. Never did. I wouldn't if we dominated the league for 25 years. But that's the deal. They licking our knee slot up and down. He's the real deal. Erik Ten Hag, he's a bluffer. So, like you said, let's get a legit performance. Let's show up. Let's not have a super open midfield where we just get kind of passed through and run through all day. Let's build some styles of play, and let's create some chances and score some goals and entertain the fans at Old Trafford. It's a new era. It's a new era with a new regime, with Ratcliffe, with the whole team in place now, and, you know, it's a fresh start. So no excuses, play like a champion. Forget last season. Forget the FA Cup. Forget 8th place. Fresh start, baby. Clean slate. Let's go. I'm excited for it. 8th place.
8th place.
8th place.
Little concerning theme that I saw from the Community Shield that I hope that we don't do against Fulham. And it's the fact that let me step back. It's about landing the plane. A lot of new players coming in, a lot of changes. You know, there's injuries. And you saw what we tried to do for the first 30 minutes of the Community Shield, which is like some crazy, complicated, like Lisandro Martinez left back, dropping into midfield on the build-up, like the two Mountain Bruno situation that we haven't seen in a long time. We need to keep it simple. This is Fulham. And I feel like with Sir Alex and his experience in the league, he just knew when to turn it up and knew when to turn it down. And this is like, keep it simple, stupid, play well, just like ping it around the pitch, hold the ball in the midfield, get it to Bruno, let Kobe do the work, get it to Rashford and Garnacho on the wing, and just keep it simple. We overcomplicated it. We went way too complicated against City. And I feel like the Dutchman kind of has that move where he's trying to, play some calculus and just invent some new style of football. And we just need to keep it simple, beat Fulham, and build a momentum from there. I just hope we don't see some crazy system with like the Ligt jumping in and Nasir on the left back position. You could do too much. When you add too many pieces and you have too much shuffling in the summer, it can hurt you. And we really need to be thinking, keeping it simple to start the season.
I think that's a great point. I think more explainable in the FA Cup final where we switched things up and there was a lead up to that. It paid off, right? He did some crazy new formation with, McTominay at 10 and Bruno pushed out and all that stuff, and it paid off. I think he was trying to be creative in the Community Shield, given the opponent. Obviously, it didn't pay off. We did see some promising things. The worry is we had games last year we did play okay, where we didn't take our chances. That happened against City. We should have won that game if you rewatch the tape. But at this point, I agree. It's like, let's keep it simple. Let's put out a team that can hold onto the ball. Let's just hold onto the ball, hold on to possession. You know, I'm still concerned about our ability to break down a low block. We're going to see a lot of that this season. But let's not like have an open midfield where we concede 18 goals a game, and that will go a long way, right? That game we were at last year where we lost to Fulham at the death, they deserved to win that game. You know, they edged us an XG, and they outplayed us that day. So let's put in a good performance. Let's not get any additional injuries. We have a lot of moving parts because we already have 4 players in. They're not done. They're going to get more players in. We have 2 big injuries of de facto starters in Lenny and Højlund, and there's going to be a lot of kind of dust settling as players come back to fitness, right? Obviously, Kobe was playing in the final of the Euros. He didn't look match fit quite there yet, so it's like it's going to take a while for this team to settle. Let's keep it simple. Let's not lose our hat, and let's focus on just like fundamentals, which is possession and not getting just like torn through like we did a lot of last season.
Exactly. You keep it simple. You build from the midfield and you go from there, sir. Quick PSA for the podcast. If you like the American Red Devils, pod never sleeps, and now we're on YouTube. Please check us out on our YouTube channel. You can search American Red Devils on YouTube. You get all the podcasts now in video form. Please like, subscribe, and comment below, sir. Let us know how you're feeling about that YouTube channel.
That's right. Join the YouTube, like, subscribe. It goes a long way. We're getting it all going, and this is the big push. So everything you can do, we appreciate. The Muppet of the Week is Michael Folletti. John putting in the work while in the car. Pod never sleeps. It's so depressing that the left back position starts the season in the same spot. Injured Shaw is the top 3 left back in the league when healthy, but the healthy part is that becoming more and more rare, I'm sorry to say. Meat Pie, he thinks he's got to go. We appreciate it, Michael, and we appreciate everyone writing those 5-star reviews and liking, subscribing, and checking out our YouTube, sir.
Yeah, and if you want to be the Muppet of the Week, comment below on the YouTube video. Read out your comment on the next podcast.
And another way to support the pod is to join Patreon. It goes a long way to keeping the lights on. There's lots of extra special benefits. We do a special podcast just for our Patreon members every month, so check it out. And then in addition to that, great way to support the American Red Devils is to check out our blog, AmericanRedDevils.com. If you're interested in writing for the blog, you can reach out at AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com and see if we can find a position for you to write, for fan, by fan content. It goes a long way. We couldn't do it without you. It's just John and I sweating. He is not in the pod room. I am in the pod room. It is fucking hot in the pod room. These lights, your boy's cooking. And speaking of ways to support the pod, great way to support the pod. By the way, check out the new hat. It's fresh. It literally arrived today. So check out our store, AmericanRedDevils.store. We've got this unbelievably new scarf, Viva Garnacho, designed by John. Looks terrific. We've been shipping them out. Alejandro himself picked one up. Yeah, boy. We got the new hats. We got it in gray, and we got the black one just came in, my personal favorite. So check it out. We'll get that up in the store later this week. Great way to support the American Red Devils. It goes a long way. And like I said, just John and I, everything you do goes a huge way to keeping us sweating on YouTube. Check us out.
So, no, the reason why the pod bunker is so hot is so we can see your rosy cheeks, Alex. That's why.
I got some sun today. I was out, I got a busted foot. I was doing laps. I was fighting the old people for lanes, and I got some sun, and then I'm wearing this long sleeve. And I tell you what, it wasn't hot in the pod room until I turned these lights on, but I am cooking, and the hat doesn't help.
All right,
either.
let's land this PSA.
Let's land it, sir. Let's get into a preview.
All right, sir, we're going to be previewing Manchester United's season. We're going to do a little preview and predictions, and then we're going to get into the Fulham preview. And we're actually going to announce the survey winner after that. So if you completed the fan survey, please stick around because we're going to pick one lucky American Red Devil who filled out our fan survey for the big merch drop. So let's jump into the season preview, sir.
So we don't want to dig up the past too much. John said it. We're the 23-24 season was an ugly one. We didn't enjoy it, and it's in the past. But we do have to get some context going into next season, just from a goals scored, goals conceded, and points, of course. So obviously last year we finished in 8th place. We finished with 60 points, so 8th place was the lowest finish we've had in the Premier League era. 57 goals scored, 58 goals conceded, sir. -1 goal differential. Not terrific.
Yeah, so I think we covered this one. We watched every single game, and it did end on a high note with the FA Cup final, but obviously we're talking about the league, and as a Manchester United fan, this is where our bread is buttered, is the league. And number one, not good enough all around. 8th place, you say it, I don't believe it. Like when you say 8th, I'm like, I thought it was 6th.
I know.
I thought it was 7th.
Because we're in Europa League, that's why.
It's even worse. It's even worse. So, look, we're coming off a tough one, and then do you fire the manager? Do you not fire the manager? He's not fired. He's back. Now we're signing more Dutch players. Hell of a combination. I would definitely say, could we sign less Dutch players? I just feel like we're all in on the Dutch. But that's probably that LVG era that's making me a little nervous about that. But hey, we're here. We made our bed. We're all in, baby. It's 24-25. You want to touch on the seasons before that, just so we can get an idea of where United's been at over the last 3 years?
Yeah, not to overwhelm with stats, but obviously first season for Ten Hag, 2022-23, we finished 3rd place. We had 75 points. We scored 58 goals, but we conceded 43. And then the season before that, the fucking Rangnick year where everything blew up. We finished 6th, 58 points, lowest amount of points we've ever had in the Premier League era. So it, gave Ten Hag last year a boost. 57 goals scored, 57 conceded. So the thing I thought was amazing was 57 goals scored last year, 58 goals scored the year before, and 57 the year before that. 58 conceded last year, 43 before that, and then 57 before that. So obviously we talked about the need for goals, but the big step off was the defense, and that makes sense for a variety of reasons, right? We're super open. Casemiro had a huge drop-off. Martinez was injured. You could even argue, we switched goalkeepers, so it took a while for Onana to settle. You missed De Gea as well, so we need goals, but we also have a leaky defense. So obviously we want to fix both things. What do you see getting fixed next year, sir?
I don't have confidence in any of it getting fixed, at least overnight, right? I mean, look at our center back pairing. Lenny Euro, he could fix it, but he's injured. Now De Ligt's coming in. Can he compete at the Premier League level? So we have more bodies. The question is, more bodies doesn't mean that you can have a better defense because it's not settled. And you have to find the right combination. You got to build chemistry, also with the keeper playing out the back. I think De Ligt's the guy to do that, but it's just going to take time. And I think this whole season is you're getting the stew. We're throwing all the ingredients in at the last minute, and you got to let it cook. You got to let it simmer. And Erik ten Hag has a lot to do here, landing this plane with all these new players and figuring it out right from the jump. We're talking Friday to get started against Fulham. And so you're building the plane while you're flying it. That's going to be the theme for this season. But we're coming off a bad one. Rangnick year was bad. Ten Hag got top 4, but you're talking about 2 out of the 3 years missing out on top 4 in Champions League. Brutal. And oh, by the way, Ten Hag managed us out of Champions League in 4th place, worst European campaign ever. So as far as Champions League goes, we haven't really been in the mix in a long, long time, and that's just brutal. Ronaldo was wearing the shirt when we were actually involved properly in the Champions League, and that's just a sad sight to see.
Yeah, and then the last one was probably 13 when we got that red card with Nani. That was a backbreaker, but I agree. Like you said, a lot of things we have to work on. The midfield is going to be a huge component of this. I think, obviously, missing Martinez, the transition with goalkeepers wasn't straightforward. It was not smooth at first, but Casemiro drop-off was huge too. So a lot of things we need to fix. I don't know if the goals are going to be fixed, right? Even if we get an Ivan Toney, I still think we're going to struggle to score goals. And like you said, this season is going to be not going to be a constant. It's we have so many moving pieces.
Rashford has to improve. The thing about our defense is it's comparable to the other teams that finished. Villa had how many goals did Villa concede last year?
They conceded 61. Right.
So Villa conceded more goals than us, right? But
crazy.
How many goals did Villa score?
76, 19 more
exactly.
than us.
Yeah, 19 more. So we need 20 more goals if we want to be competing for top 4. Our defense if we keep it the same or just a little better, and then you score 20 more goals, you're probably in the mix. And for me, it's like, can Rashford score 10 more than he did last year? Yeah. Can Garnacho add 5? Yeah. Can Hoyland add 5? He did okay last year, so probably not. And then it's like maybe Ahmad gives you 5. So like you could get to 70, 75. That could get you top 4, but everything's got to go your way. And I think there's a lot of moving pieces. So it's going to be a rocky start, and you hope we can kind of find the right combination of players and get the chemistry moving forward.
No, really good point. And then speaking of starts, let's talk about strength of schedule. I think there's a couple of interesting ways to look at it. So Opta Analysis did a whole breakdown. Let's talk about the first 5 games. We know it well. So in terms of difficulty coming out of the gates, United has the 11th most difficult schedule and the 9th easiest. So we have Fulham at home. We have Brighton away. We have Liverpool at home, Southampton away, and Palace away. So,
well, go to the first 10. Go to the first 10 that we have. I think that's like, so the reason why this is so important, right? The key takeaway here is that Erik ten Hag is coming back. Ineos brought him back after like the worst season in the Premier League era. So the start for Erik ten Hag and this team is so critical because, like you said, the English press is like all over this guy. They don't like him. I don't know what it is. They're sharks. Like they tried to get rid of him at the end of last year. Like he didn't do a great job. Was stubborn, and we all know the story. But the press were out to get him, and I feel like when you survive, it kind of pisses the press off. They're ready to go again. So
that's a good point.
Like they're ready to go again. And the English press is brutal, especially to the coach of Manchester United. And if you don't kind of like sway them or have that magic, like I feel like the aura of like a Van Nistelrooy can get the press swooning over him. But like Erik ten Hag doesn't have this like swoon factor with English press, and so they're gonna write negative from day one. They'll be like, "What was Ineos thinking? They don't know." Like it'll be like you can write the headlines right now. And so with Fulham at home, that's not an easy match, but we'll get to kind of why Fulham is there for the taking. Brighton away, tricky. That's a tricky one. And
New
then
manager.
Liverpool at home.
They got a new manager, so they should have a little transition, right? They don't have De Zerbi. He went to Marseille. He's going to be linking up with Mason Greenwood.
They beat us. You're not going to be saying that.
I'm just trying. I'm just adding another element to it. You know, plenty of teams get new manager bounce.
Okay. I'm telling you, away down the South Coast. It's not an easy trip for United. It's not a place that we play well at, right? And then Liverpool at home, tough game. Because Liverpool at home is one of those ones where you have to be winning. It's against Arne Slot. I feel like that's like a 50-50 coin flip. And if it goes Arne's way, he's going to get the shine. If it goes Ten Hag's way, they won't give him any credit. So it's
well said.
These first 3 out of the gate, tough, in my opinion. Because Fulham is a must-win. Then it's an away game against Brighton that's going to be tough. And then you have, playing for keeps against the Scouts Bastards. All right, you can breathe a little bit. Southampton away. That's a gimme. Crystal Palace away, we know how that is to play there. Tottenham at home, Villa away. You're with the Sharks. We're only 7 games in. Brentford home, West Ham away, Chelsea home, sir. There's nowhere to breathe in these first 10 games. This is going to be a tough line of fixtures for Ten Hag. We got to stick with the lads. And like I said, plus with all the changes this summer with Ineos, we see the squad. We see the holes. We see the injuries. We're not settled yet. You look at the Community Shield. Mount, Bruno in the midfield. What? McTominay, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Casemiro, his legs there? I don't know. Lots of questions for this manager. Lots of players. This is a tough task, and it makes me a little nervous looking at these 10. Because there's nowhere to hide in these games. There's nowhere to hide.
What's amazing is we've been saying this since the pod started, but it's really become clear over the last 2, 3, 4 years. It's like there are no easy games in the English Premier League. And it's like that schedule is the 11th hardest or the 9th easiest, depending on how you look at it. And those are it's still a gauntlet because every game, even like the easiest one of the 10, Southampton away, you're still going all the way to the South Coast, even further than Brighton. And they're going to be frisky. You know, they're going to be well-organized championship side. So I agree with you. It's like the team needs some run. Some room to run. They need some track to get after. And we have all of the items you just talked about, right? All these new signings. We have no idea what the squad's going to look like in, 17, 18 days when they close the transfer window. Like, so many players are still up for grabs. We can sell Jadon Sancho. He could be around all year. We have no idea. That's up for grabs. Casemiro, Lindelof, McTominay. It's quite a list, and a lot of these players will be replaced. So There's that, the ins and outs. There's the biggest, our most important players coming back from the Euros or the Copa in Lissandro, Kobe, Garnacho, Bruno. They all went late. All right, that's going to be an issue. And then major injuries that are not done yet, by the way. Shaw just picked up another injury. Ha, ha, ha. Lenny Euro's out for 3 months. Højlund's out for 2 months. We might not see this squad settle till like December. So we need to hold on, be patient. Long con, but the media is going to be... They already are. They're already making... They said all of our signings are dog shit. The Lit's crap. Looking...
Dude, it's a results-based business.
It is.
It's results. You sign the Lit. You sign this year. You do these deals, whatever. It's like, hey, you don't need another striker other than Højlund, and he's injured. You sign Xerxes, right? Like, Xerxes, get out there. like, hey, hey, we're running with the big dogs. Like this, the reason why this is not rated so difficult by Opta is the Liverpools, the Tottenhams, and the Chelseas were at home, right? So that's also kind of leaning to United. You're playing the better teams at home. We struggled home and away last season. You just got to win, baby, win. That's what it's about. By hook or by crook, I don't care. You got to beat Fulham. You got to beat Brighton. You got to beat the Scouse Bastards, Southampton. You got to win. You got to win. From these 10 games, sir, you just got to be thinking about winning. And if this manager gets off the wrong foot, Sharks are going to be circling, and I hate to see that as a fan. So let's just keep our chin up and hope for the best here.
And the last point before we start talking about predictions for the season is, like, it cuts both ways, too. I mean, obviously, the English press hates Manchester United. That is so abundantly clear. They despise Manchester United, probably because most of the writers are Liverpool fans or whatever, Arsenal fans, etc. And they just, wouldn't you hate United if we were so dominant for so long? And that bias shines through. So that's on if we play like shit or even lose a game. But if we start winning some games, like, that shit's momentum. We need the momentum. It's not like they're going to give a shine, but like it can cut both ways. We have not started fast in either of Ten Hag's last 2 seasons, even when it was a decent one. So I'm hoping the team can figure it out by hook or by crook, use some of that rude magic that he's bringing in. Because like you said, it can get ugly, but
we're either going to win the league or Ten Hag's going to be fired by Thanksgiving. It's either that. I think it's kind of one of those things.
It's either like a cheeky, like a run that ends in March, like we're in it, like right in it, or it's a fucking disaster. It's like a fucking mix.
Come on, United!
Come on,
I need
lads!
a title race.
I know.
I need a title race.
Just doesn't even be a title. It's just like even the first Ten Hag season was fun. It was like we went on a run.
You have to be in it. You have to be in it. You can't be. Christmas comes, you open the table, you have to be in it, sir. You got to be in it. Like, come on. I can't be doing this for a decade.
We've been doing it for 11 years.
I can't do another decade. I can't do another decade and just not being like written off like by November. It's like, let's go. Come on.
November.
We're in this. Let's go. We're gonna win all 10. Let's go. Come on. Predictions. Speaking of predictions.
Oh, predictions. Hold on. Let's get to it. Okay. So predictions. So we're going to start with where we did last year, right? So last year's predictions, sir. You want to take us through that?
Yeah, so last year I had United finishing 5th in the league, no top 4. Alex, with the famous Muppet take, you said 4th, that we would get top 4, but still conservative because there was a lot of hype last year. But I didn't think we'd go 8th, but I did say this was going to be a step back year for Ten Hag. I think that was against the grain when we made that prediction as well. Trophy Hall, I said we wouldn't win anything. You said that we would win the Europa League because you also predicted the Champions League. We finished 3rd in our group. I feel like that was a very clairvoyant prediction that we would not do well in the Champions League. You had that right.
Worse than I ever could have imagined, of course. But yes.
But we actually finished 4th, so we actually didn't go to the Europa League. I said we would get to the semifinals of the Champions League. That was like my
let's go.
That was like my hope, my best summer signing, and we made this before the close of the transfer window. I said Harry Kane because I thought we would get him. And you said Onana would be our best summer signing. So I definitely think Onana was not our best summer signing. Would you agree with that?
Who was our best summer signing then? Not Mason Mount. He started like shit, but he finished very strong. Was excellent in the league in the second half of the year. It's all relative. I mean, it's probably Johnny Evans. To be fair, it's like Johnny Evans on a free was probably the best transfer we made.
Yes. Yeah. Sadly, I would agree, but I don't think it's Onana. Given the money and given how he came in, and like even when you made that prediction, you're like, boom, this guy's going to be like everything we thought. Obviously, he did not show up that way. Player of the season, I said Rashford, got that completely wrong. You said Bruno. I'm going to give it to you there. Bruno has to be probably
safe bet. That's like a cheater's bet. You just say Bruno. He's always Captain dependable.
Here we go. Last year's predictions. Top goal scorer. We both said Rashford, and we were both wrong. And most improved, I said Garnacho, which I think is that's a win. And you said, do you remember who you?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Anthony.
The fidget spinner.
Let's go.
I was trying to build him up.
Go. That's the worst prediction of that's got to be like you win.
I'm pretty sure you say
Anthony saying most improved.
You thought we were going to the semis of the Champions League and we finished 4th. I think they're both pretty bad. All right, let's get into this season, sir. Well, look
Anthony, baby.
Yeah, he's a bust. Yeah, I agree. He'll be one of the all-time worst transfers we ever made. Okay. League finish, sir. Here are the bookies odds. This is what obviously City clear favorites. It's pretty tight actually. So plus 150 for City, then plus 187 for Arsenal. Scousers Arnie Slot baby plus 750. Chelsea plus 2,000 plus United for 3,000. Same as Spurs. So they think we're gonna finish 5th or 6th, sir. What do you think we're gonna finish next year?
You go. You're up.
I think 6th. I think that's kind of been my gut going into the season. I think we'll be better than last year from a performance standpoint. I still think we're going to hit, I think we'll get better, much better in the second half of the year. I think the first half of the year is going to be rough for all the reasons we outlined before in terms of squad transition, ins and outs, players settling after tournaments. I think we're going to be much better in the second half of the season if we can hold on and not lose our head. But yeah, 6 feels about right. Champions, maybe we get Champions League, whatever. We'll get into that later, but 6th. What do you got?
I'm going 7th. Here. We're not settled. Squad's not settled. Got good players, not clicking. Something's off to start the season. We could have a strong finish. My Muppet heart says no way we're not finishing in the top 4. But we're doing predictions, and I feel like you only bottle it if you think you're going to win the league and you come in 7th. So I'm going to call 7th and hope we win the league. How about that?
Say 20th, and we'll end up 1st. Okay, I like that. Trophy Hall. I went first this time. You go first on the next one.
You get a goose egg. Nothing.
Nada. Nothing. No Christmas gifts for us this year. I think I'm going to be cheeky. I think we win the Europa League. I think Erik ten Hag gets all his JV trophies in a pile. EFL, FA Cup being the most cherished.
FA's not JV.
I know it's not. I know it's not. But
That's not fair. That's not fair.
It's been kind of degraded by everyone else. But
no,
I agree.
Not against City at Wembley.
I think it's a big deal.
Way.
I'm just the big 2 are the league.
That's a big trophy.
And Champions
That's a
League.
legit trophy. I'm not I'll kick our manager when he's down. But that FA Cup against Man City, no way. That's a big trophy. That was a big deal.
All right. Well, I agree.
I played JV.
So did I, bro.
So I know. And guess what? FA Cup ain't JV.
You're looking at 2 JV athletes right here, basically. That's the one thing you know about the American Red Devils. This is not this ain't varsity talent. All right.
Jose, JV for life, sir. Come on.
There you go.
All
there
day.
you go. He's put me on the freshman squad. Okay, best summer signing. I am up to go first. I think it's going to be Lenny. I think Lenny is going to settle in once he gets back from the foot injury. I think he's going to cement himself as the kind of the starter that De Ligt and even Martinez might be fighting for a spot. And I think he's going to have a huge second half of the year. I think he's going to be scoring goals from set pieces. And I think people are going to be like, damn, they got that kid for a reasonable fee given his upside. So I'm being cheekish. I probably should have said something worse. I should have said Mousarrani because he was the cheapest one we signed and he's going to kill it. But yeah, I'm calling Lenny. What do you got, sir?
I'm going to say Ivan Toney.
Him and Harry Kane are going to crush it for us this season.
Just going on the same theme. It's I'm predicting a future transfer here.
I love it. Okay. Where do you think we're going to finish in Europe, sir? Europa League, Hans and Franz, get ready. It's coming. You think I'm sweating now? Where do you drop that bass? I'm going to really be sweating. Bringing back my EDM days, sir. What do you got us finishing in the Hans and Franz Cup?
I'm going semifinals. We're not going to win. away in Spain, it's not a good look for us. Never been. We always get cooked in Spain for whatever reason. I don't know why, but like we always go through them. They give us trouble. So I'm going to say we make it semifinals.
Finals. Win it. That's what I'm calling. That's my cheeky bit, is that we're going to win the Europa League this year. And guess what? The finals in Bilbao. So if we make it to the final, I'm going, baby. I'm taking you with me. Hopefully we don't have a Spanish opponent because, Jesus, they're pretty good at football. Okay. Player of the season, sir. You go first.
Viva Garnacho. Viva Garnacho all day. He's our player. You saw him at Wembley. He's ready to go. He's the real deal. He's coming into his own. I got him as top goal scorer, too. So that's 2 for 2.
I think it's going to be the same guy I picked last year, Bruno Fernandes. I think Captain Dependable. I think United will play better this year, and he will have better stats this year, more goals, more assists. And I think, he's going to be a player of the year. Captain Dependable. Love Bruno. Very excited he re-signed a longer deal. We'll get into that in the news in a second. Sir, top goal scorer, you said it, Garnacho. Oh, I think it's going to be Bruno Fernandes. I think he'll get penalties. He'll score goals in open play. I do. I think who else is going to score? I mean, like Højlund, scored 16 goals last year. Rashford will be the only punt. I think Garnacho can score 10 more goals than he scored last year and still not hit Bruno's level. But Garnacho's looking like a different player, bro. He's looking like he had some of that potion. Some of that, some of that like reverse magic juice that they had in Space Jam. Sir, he looks ready. He looks like a man who just showed up and ready to go. Most improved.
I got Ahmad all day. He's ready to go. Ahmad is most improved by a mile.
Yeah, I would agree. I would pick Ahmad, but I think it's cheating on the American Devils to ever pick the same pick. So I'm not going to pick Ahmad. I am going to do...
We picked Rashford for top goal scorer last year, both of us.
Well, that was he had scored 30 goals, so it was kind of like the obvious choice coming off of the season before.
Okay.
I am picking Money Mount, baby. Your boy, Mason Mount. Like when you started from zero, everything's up. I think he's going to emerge. This is where it gets like kind of difficult because like you talked about, like not tinkering. It's like Mount is in this 11 if you're kind of like playing with stuff and doing a double 10 with some kind of pivot anchor in the bottom. So I have no idea how he's going to make it work. I just think Mount, he's a real player. He has talent. He's won the Champions League. He was the player of the match in that game. Money Mount, number 7. I'm hoping a prayer. Let's go. Certainly hope so, sir.
Hey, let's hope we beat our finish. Let's hope we get top 4. Come on, United. Let's get some silverware. I'm always, as a Muppet, you always got to have that hope, but you try to be more practical when you make these predictions so you don't get burned by your boy next year when we do it.
We've always got a record. Here's the thing about the American Devils we always remember, sir. We have a next match. Are you ready?
That's right. Manchester United taking on Fulham season opener, Old Trafford, Friday, August 16th, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Damn. Cannot wait. Fulham, Craven Cottage, the Cottagers, got to take them down.
Must win. I have to agree. You hate labeling things must win, especially this early in the season, but openers, we have a tendency to win openers even when we're shit. If you look back, we do pretty well on openers. At home, last year, we actually outperformed our away stats. They were both bad, like you said, but it was technically worse at home, and that has to stop. It's like that cannot be a thing. If you're going to do anything this season, we have to be like locked down at home. So it starts on Friday. The reason we got less rest than City is because we're the biggest team in the country by a fucking mile. So they're putting us on primetime, 8 o'clock Friday night slot. Same in the States, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. And everybody's going to be watching because Premier League, it just ain't nothing else hit like the EPL, baby. I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
I don't like going first. I don't like Friday game. I don't like going first. Manchester United it's a classic heavy hitter Sunday fixture opening weekend. We're not Friday night football. This should be like Brighton versus Bournemouth. Like it's usually like kind of like a taster and then you get the real dogs on Sunday. I don't like this game on Friday. I don't like it. Tight turnaround with the Community Shield makes no sense. Cash grab. Don't like it. FA, come on.
Bro, the FA's relationship with Manchester United is fraught and has been complicated since literally the 50s. So they don't give a shit about United. And they care about money. So, yeah, they're going to put the biggest team on Friday night. and they'll get lots of eyeballs because that's what they do, sir. EPL. So we're talking about what's our record for Fulham, sir. Let's look at it. United, they've won 56, we've drawn 20, and we've lost 15. First match was 1905, and it was a 2-2 draw in the FA Cup. Most recently, it's been good until it wasn't. We have won the last 4 and lost 1. So, and that loss, we were there February 24th, a day that will live in infamy. So we got to get back to business. We're used to beating them. We got to get back to business. And business is like Fulham used to be like Everton. You just like chalk it up. 3 points on the board. It's like it used to be like cha-ching. We've gone to that game. We went to the Craven Cottage.
It is cha-ching. We were just so shit last year.
I know. We were terrible.
Little history on Fulham. They've played home games at Craven Cottage since 1896. Other than a 2-year stint they spent at Loftus Road, which is where QPR plays, when Craven Cottage underwent some redevelopments that were completed in 2004. They're even doing some more work on it. It's a beautiful stadium. We've been there when they were in the championship. We saw them play Ipswich back in the day when Mick McCarty led the line against Ipswich. We had such good seats because they were so cheap. We were sitting with the Ipswich reserves on the 50-yard line.
Crazy.
It was awesome. We also went there away with Manchester United under Ole's at the wheel when Pogba and Martial were cooking. So some great memories at the Cottage for the American Red Devils. They contest the West London Derby with rivals Chelsea and Queen's Park Raisins. Also, Brentford is a rival. They have the white and black shorts. Obviously, Clint Dempsey, a dog from the U.S. men's national team, scored a lot of goals for Fulham back in the day. Nicknamed the Cottagers, sir. You want to pull up what we think their starting level will be? Silva's got them playing.
My favorite away ground in England. My favorite stadium that's not Old Trafford. I love the Cottage. As neutral, as an away fan, it's an incredible stadium. Check it out. They're the most posh team in the Premier League. They eat brie on away days. And they're probably going to be eating brie on the train up to Manchester. So let's get into that 11, like you said. Quickly running through it, not to get too much detail. But Leno and net, they got Robinson at left back. He has been very solid for them. They signed Smith Rowe this year. That was the big bring-in. Traore on the wing. Iwobi on the other. Muniz is their striker. He was their top scorer last year. And Pereira, the guy who was a standout, arguably pushed to the bench for some Arsenal reject. Like I didn't even remember played anymore. So what do you think of this 11, sir? What are the kind of the pitfalls, things to be aware of? We can look at their stats in a second, but this 11, what scares you in this 11?
The only thing that scares me is Manchester United looking in the mirror, right? It's like this is a focus on yourself type of game. Fulham has gotten weaker, right? And they've gotten weaker in interesting areas. Number one, last season, they were 14th in XG conceded. So they're conceding a lot of XG, but they only conceded the 7th most goals. So they're actually getting lucky related to like how bad they were defending and what they were getting away with. And they just got rid of their best defensive player in Paulinho. And so this is a squad that's looking to cover some gaps, right? They've been a selling club. They're trying to get McTominay from us. They made moves in attacking midfield, but not defensive midfield. So we're getting Fulham early. They're trying to plug some gaps in the transfer market. So I think United just has to be focused on themselves. We have to control the ball. The focus is on midfield. I don't want to see a Mount Bruno pivot. I want to see Bruno in there, probably McTominay and Casemiro, like try to run the show. And then I want to see Licha at center back as well. So we just got to be brave and bold, get the ball out to the wing, dominate them. I mean, Fulham we shouldn't be scared of. This is a weakened Fulham side, and they weren't even good last year. They're probably more lucky when it came to XG than anything.
Their keeper actually was one of the top-rated keeper. I think that was a big part of it. Leno had a very good season last year, but like you said, it's like they're vulnerable. Top scorer was Muniz. Top assister was Pereira. Like you said, Paulinho went to Bayern, a team that we know very well. So they're very much a team we can get after. We have no reason to let them dictate the play, right? Like you said, they just lost their controlling midfielder. Let's take it to them. What are the?
We have to press them. We have to press them. Like even when we played City, it was like this disjointed kind of weird press. It's like we got to get after them from the start. We got to and that's the one thing. It's like we got to make them scared. We got to score early, and it's ours. And I just feel like United has been lacking that kind of ruthlessness. Don't you remember with against Chelsea that 4-0 with Dan James back?
Opener,
we
baby.
got after teams at home, season opener. The crowd's going to lift you. You got to go for the jugular. You got to win.
And the fans are going to be on our side. because it's a new season. You know, people are always excited about the new season. They're excited about Ratcliffe and co. and the changes they've made. And you know what? There's going to be a lot of enthusiasm, I think, in Old Trafford. The bookmakers, let's take a look. Whew, scares me, sir. Scares me. The United heavy favorites. Minus 190 at home, plus 350 for the draw, plus 490 for Fulham. We haven't seen odds like that in a minute. Sir, given the odds, what is your score prediction?
Sir, you got to go first on this one.
You coward. 2-0. I think we show up, we play some decent football, some shaky moments, but I think Bruno gets a goal, and I think Garnacho gets a goal, and we do the job, and we move on from there. On to the next one, sir. What's your prediction?
I'm going to say 2-1. It's going to go that way, but Muniz is going to get a goal. It's going to be 1-1. It's going to be nervy. We'll probably win it in the 70th minute, and not concede. It'll be nervy to hold on to 3. I don't think it's going to be that pretty. I think there's a lot of moving parts at United right now. Not saying it should be pretty. It's just lots of new players. Who's he going to play? It just seems like there's a lot going on.
No, that's fair. Yeah. Who am I to say we're going to win by more than 1 goal? What am I, an idiot? It's like, it's going to be tight.
We should. But after watching last season, I got to caveat everything.
No, 2-1. I like that. 2-1, like we fight back. We go down early, fight back. So let's get into some news. We got some. Let's do it.
United in the news. Show me the money. Bruno Fernandes gets paid. I thought we weren't paying anything over 200K. Just kidding. Bruno is the highest paid player at Manchester United, allegedly. New deal valid to 2027, option to 28. Could I have an extra year on that? Yes. I was kind of disappointed in the
You would go longer?
I want this to be the last deal for Bruno Fernandes. Last big deal, right? He's a player you want. Like, after what I saw at the Euros, he hung in there last year. He's loyal to the club. I'm glad they got the deal done. I'm very happy about this. I could get selfish and say I want 29, but
I agree 100%. If there's a player that deserves to pay the most in the team, he's it. He's our best player, top performing player over the last 5 years, and well deserved. I want Bruno Fernandes to retire at Manchester United. I want him to win some real shit. Not to put any shade on the FA Cup, but I want him to win a league. I want him to win a Champions League. So I'm excited about this. He's 30, but like I said, I think he's one of those players that he takes such good care of himself. He gets injured so infrequently that I think he'll play. And pace is not the kind of the key element of his game. So I think he could be a player well into his mid-30s. So excited about this move. Bruno Fernandes, Bruno Fernandes. I love it. So next bit of news, we've got some incomings, and it's called Double Trouble, Double Duty. We got 2 at once from Bayern Munich, sir. When's the last time we did that? Bayern Munich? Remember that Schweinsteiger? How old was that fucker? He was a broke-down old car, poor guy.
Yeah, so De Ligt and Nasir, it's official. Like I said, last time we made a move from Bayern Munich, it was Schweinsteiger, 3-year contract for £6.5 million. He was over the hill. Bayern didn't want him. We scooped him. These are 2 that are not over the hill, but Bayern doesn't want him. We got him on the discount, not quite the dollar store. Schweinsteiger didn't turn out. Well, one of these guys, I feel like this is a twofer, but really one's going to come through. I don't know which one. My gut tells me De Ligt. He's got a lot of haterade already in the English press, which is strange.
Cutting him. They cut him wide, bro.
Nasir is the injury record really concerning. Usually that doesn't change. I've never seen a player who got injured all the time then not get injured. I've never seen it in my life. I don't know why we sign players with that profile. But De Ligt is the one that needs to work. De Ligt, Licha, that could be a real pairing going forward. Obviously, they did play together at Ajax. The Ajax contingent coming through real strong at United. So how are you feeling about both deals?
I agree. I think my only concern, I think the fees are reasonable considering the age, right? Like, De Ligt just turned 25, I think, a day ago. Mousarrani is 26, so they do have, they have plenty of years left. Mousarrani, it's the injuries. It's like, I've seen some clips. He looks like an exciting player going forward. Can do a job. He's flexible. He can play at left back. But like you said, that is such a it's like nobody who gets injured all the time all of a sudden like figures it out. Like, you know, like Shaw ain't never gonna not be an injury problem ever. Like that's a thing. And Mousarrani, I wear it the same because availability is an attribute. It's like we need players who are high. One of the reasons Bruno Fernandes is the best player on our team is because he's always available. One of the reasons I've like grown to like Harry Magoo is because he's always available, and we need players who are always available.
He's not always. Harry Maguire's injured often. Like
no, his injury record. His record of all the center backs, he has the best injury record of our center backs. It's not bad. It's compared to the rest of the guys, compared to Lindelof, Shaw. Anyway. But availability is huge, so that's my concerns with them. Like you said, you're probably right.
Don't make me pull up stats on you on Maguire, but I would say 20% of the games he's out.
Okay, well that compares to 55% for Shaw, so 20% is not terrible.
Yeah, but compare him to the worst player. I do agree, but Harry he's like due for an injury every 20% of the time. But like when I think available, it's like 90% plus. And here's the thing. Maguire didn't play in against City because he was injured, and he was injured for England. Like so I think Maguire would be probably the starting center back if he was healthy. I actually think injuries have held him back at United. But more importantly, these two players, De Ligt and Nasir. We'll start with De Ligt. Zlatan Obertan.
I think he'll be a Zlatan. I think he's got a point to prove. I think he's a player. I think he knows the system. He'll fit in well. We have some actual depth now once Lenny's back in terms of like not having to be played every game. So I think, of our binary choices, good signing, bad signing, he'll be a good signing. What do you think?
I'm gonna say Obertan. I'm gonna say Zlatan. I'm gonna say Zlatan for De Ligt. I'm gonna go Obertan for Nasir just because the injury record. One of them isn't going to come good. Our track record is if both these guys come good, I will, be over the moon. But I'm going to be conservative.
Yeah, I agree. He's an Obertan for me. I think he's a talented player. I think he's also bigger than I thought. He's got some decent size. But if you're injured, you're like to me, there's no use. You got no use.
Okay, so just I got this.
You can't help yourself, bro. Like
62 days unavailable in 23-24, missed 11 games in the league.
Okay.
That's 11 games. That's
a quarter of the
pretty
league.
Sizable. 9 in the prior season. So, he's got that 9 to 10 games.
He's not Bruno. He's not Bruno.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
He's not Shaw.
That's what I mean.
There are very few Brunos. Who else is like Bruno? Like who never?
Did you know his real first name?
Who?
Harry Maguire's first name is Jacob.
I did not know. There you go.
Jacob, what was it? Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, sir.
Okay, sir.
Like
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Hey, by the way, your name is John. Survey, sir. Let's get into the survey results. We got more news coming. Break it down from my man.
I really enjoy ribbing you about Harry Magoo's injury record. We're getting late in the pod.
Do you see my cheeks? Do you understand how warm it is in here? It's like it's about to break 80. I'm dying. Okay.
First off, just going through the survey, we do this every single year. If you didn't participate this year, we always do it at the end of the season. We ask all the Muppets who listen to the podcast about 15 questions. Everybody goes through, fills it out. We use this feedback to help make the podcast better every single year. So thank you so much to every single American Red Devil who filled it out. We go through all of your comments. We can't read them all out live on the podcast, but this is helping us steer the ship, so to speak, and get feedback. And we really appreciate everybody who took the time to fill it out and give us their thoughts and ideas on the pod, because we can always get better, as you know. And look, we have a winner to announce. So we want to say, Adam H., you win the swag bag. We're going to send you a big package of American Red Devil swag, probably include a hat as well that Alex is wearing. We have scarves and hoodies and shirts and everything. So we'll be in touch via email. But just want to give a big shout out to Adam, who won the survey draw. And we're going to hit on 5 questions, or just a few questions here. Sir, you want to go to question number 5? I thought this was an interesting takeaway from our survey. We said, how long have you been a fan of Manchester United? And 80% of our fans said they've been rooting for United for more than 10 years. That means we got the hardcore Muppets, the hardcores, the last decade. They've been through it all, sir. they're listening in. They know their stuff, and they know Manchester United, and that's why they're the top Muppets of the American Red Devils podcast. So shout out to you, the top Muppets.
Appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you. And guess what? Yeah, the sweet wouldn't taste so good, sweet without the bitter. We've been eating a lot of shit football the last 7 years. So looking forward to the next 11 being better.
The next question I want to highlight was number 9. We asked a question about if people would be interested in doing a newsletter, like an email newsletter, where we can recap the month, send out our top blog articles, podcast highlights, and other items, kind of recapping Manchester United for the month. And so 59% or 65% said yes, they'd be interested in a newsletter. So we're going to be bringing that to you hopefully this season. We got the YouTube launch. There was a lot of interest around that as well in the survey. So if we ask you about it and you tell us you want it, we will do it. So we're really excited about launching a newsletter. And then number 19, this is a surprise for everybody. The majority of fans who fill out the survey are not on our Discord channel yet. And our Discord is absolutely a riot. You have to check it out. If you're not familiar with Discord, it's an application that lets you chat with like-minded fans. So you got to look and sign up. There's a link pinned on our Twitter profile so you can jump into the Discord channel. So please check it out. If you're a Muppet and you're filling out the survey, you're not hanging out and talking to the other Muppets on match days on the Discord, you got to get there, sir. You're a big fan of the Discord as well.
It's a great community. Just like I have deep appreciation for our whole American Red Devil support, the Discord is even better. It's like constant real-time engagement. All the fans talking about their most recent match, transfer rumors, what's going on with the front office, what's going on in international football. So it's a lot of fun. Join our Discord and help make it a more engaging and interesting place, because a lot of hot banter happens there, and we only want it to stay hot and get hotter, if anything.
No, but it's like if there's a transfer that drops, people are talking about it. If there's a match going on, there's like a match day commentary. So it's like a great place to meet Muppets like yourself and chat about, create different topics of Manchester United, have fan debates like, is Onana the goalkeeper for United's future? Is, Nasir going to get injured? Like, people are talking about all these topics, and it's great to kind of, have some, I would say, you can have some disagreements on the Discord server, but it's got to be civil. It's got to be civil at the end of the day. We can't it can't get uncivil. Sometimes we have trolls with Liverpool fans jump in there, but don't worry, we have moderators who boot them out. So it is a moderated environment. So please enjoy it. Check out the community. And like I said, all the top Muppets are on Discord.
100%. And we like banner, but it's not Twitter, and we kind of like that. So keep it hot. Just don't keep it too hot, because Twitter can get a little hot. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we appreciate you. This is going to be a fun season, sir. I'm really looking forward to it. Fuck it. If we suck, whatever. You know what? We've got the best fans in the world. We've got each other, and I get like an extra workout at the end of the day just sweating in this pod room. So life is beautiful.
Good for you, sir. Very happy. What a pod. Pod never sleeps. Pod on vacation. Fulham, we're coming. 24, 25, we're coming. Can't wait. Come on, United, sir. Walk us through the top downloads. I think we're done for the day.
Top downloads last 7 days. Give me a second. I'm doing this live. That's what we say, sir. This guy, number one fan, number one movie. I'll tell you what, I'd go hang out in Florence, hang out with your boy, David De Gea. Good for him. I'm glad he landed, found a job. Unemployment's tough. Number one, how you doing? Chicago, Illinois, Dublin, Ireland, Los Angeles, California, Brooklyn, New York, New York, Philadelphia, PA, Oslo, Norway, Charlotte, North Carolina, Dallas, Texas, and last but not least, Houston, Texas. We appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do without you. John's got something to say about David De Gea. Let's hear it.
He's big, he's brave, he's Spanish, Dave. Makes great saves, never shaves. Flying through the air, sir. Come and take a shot if you dare. Let's go. David De Gea, baby. Coming to a pod bunker near you. Let's go.
There you go. We'll see you guys soon. We've got Fulham on Friday. We've got a lot of action right around the corner. We've got transfers coming. So we'll be with you every step of the way. We appreciate every single one of you. And we'll see you all next time, sir. Here's the song I want to hear on Friday, and that's A Stretford and a Rising. Enjoy your week. We'll see you all next time.